Downstairs.
All right, 7 o'clock, I will call this meeting to order. Establishing a quorum of all of our regular members and Kathy as our alternate. We still don't have a flag in here, so we will skip on the pledge tonight, so added agenda.
Technically there is.
That is. That's. Added agenda items, we have one.
For
Something north.
I have it written down.
Perfect, go
It's
ahead.
IWWA number 7-2025 for receipt only, 172 North Road, owner applicant David Leeson for construction of a commercial building in a regulated upland review area, map block lot 125-24-022.
Make a motion to add that into new applications to be received, number 3.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other added agenda items? All right, we'll move on to the approval of our meeting minutes from March 5th.
Move to approve the minutes of March 5th, 2025. That's probably.
Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, first new application to be received is IWWA 4-2025 for 265 South Main Street, construction of a 7,925 square foot commercial building. Partially located in the regulated upland review area, owner applicant JMC Realty LLC, map block lot 12-23-57.
So this is, and now the building has just been slightly skewed to be for a lot of South Main Street from the original plans you were given. Still in the upland review, now it's entirely instead of 3/4. So this would be something we need to talk about if it's significant. If you think it's significant or if it's just to be heard at the next meeting.
They already excavating there?
Yeah, the shed
There was
there.
an error on the building department's part where there was a demolition that was approved without us knowing. They've been spoken to. It will not happen again. So the trees were cleared. No excavating, just cleared trees. And I went over there and I checked it out and
Well, there's a brook back there.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, further back on the,
that's on Shirley's. I get from the looks of
yeah,
it.
this
Shirley
is,
did.
it
She kept the piece that's going
Yeah.
over the Scannick
goes
Road.
all the way to Scantic. It's gigantic.
Looks like they jumped the piece out of here and,
But there's a brook that runs
oh, yeah.
behind the trailer park.
Oh, yes, sir,
All the
there
way
is.
Over and goes to the
Never
river
stops,
eventually.
never stops flowing.
No,
That's probably where it is.
No, that's what that line is. It runs from there by Harkins and runs
Right.
by before the storage place and then crosses Route 5. I put the pipe in there, that's why
I worked on that farm from the time I was 13 till
I put the crossing in Moss's property, which is right there,
Oh, sorry.
right just off the line.
I do have a memo from Len for some notes he would like to be made before the next meeting. He's concerned with the location of the proposed infiltration basin and its proximity to South Main. He recommends that the engineer incorporates an emergency overflow that will not impact South Main or move the impervious areas and basin to the rear. Number 1 on sheet SD1 states the boundary and topographic information have been taken from a reference map that was submitted with the application, but there's no topography on the reference map. So I assume he wants topography added. And if the builder plans to utilize floor drains within the garage, they'll need to install sand and water oil separate that way for PVC.
That's absolute.
And the plan should indicate which bituminous pavement section is to be utilized for the site.
Yep.
So. We want to see those.
Pass that on, developer. What
Okay.
directions, you pass that on.
Oh, yeah, and yeah. We will start.
Do we have a square footage size of what's like significant?
The size of the building,
The building or.
79.
I would say
79,
significant
20.
disturbance within the upland review area to make it go to a public hearing or not. I don't think
I
we've
think it's
specified
wetlands.
it.
Yeah,
I think it's right.
yeah, I believe it's just wetlands, but I can. Go grab them, but
Yeah, no, I don't think it's significant from a wetland standpoint myself, for a public hearing
I agree,
per
yeah.
se.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's probably a lot of public interest in it either.
Then there will be a public hearing with the
Well, I don't
planning.
know about that, you got a trailer park right there.
Well, would be not a wetlands thing, but a planning and zoning.
That's
Yeah.
And they have to have a public hearing
Right,
anyway
Yeah,
on this.
they have to have a special use permit because it's over the square footage that triggers
So this-
special use, so.
This wetlands boundary that's on here. That's 75 feet from the building, is that the brook or the boundary?
That's
Of
the
what-
boundary.
That's the boundary.
And the brook is further back,
Further, a little further back.
okay.
And this was just, they just did a new wetlands.
And what it looks like it drops about 10 feet from where their fence is down over about 50 feet or so.
They're hard to read, you can't hardly read them.
Yeah, that next contour line is 50.
When we get the full-size plan, then we can.
Well, I'm just trying to decide what kind of impact it is, what kind of,
It's relatively flat, that property, they used to grow tobacco.
well, the
Flat.
front is
And
flat,
then-
but
then
they're
it
right
drops,
on the
it drops
knees,
when you get back.
right? Like
toward
you
the-
got 62 here, 53 here.
And then the soils
About 10 feet,
change,
but it's over
it's
50
not
feet,
as
so-
good on
Right.
the other side
I
of the
think we're
road,
good.
I do too.
up towards Scannick Road. Sand
Well,
kind
we're
of-
looking 5 acre field and
But that's Shirley's.
it's probably all overgrown now.
Oh, probably.
Okay, so we would not be doing a public hearing on this. Any questions, comments, or concerns? We're just receiving this tonight, so.
Agree.
Well, it looks like there is a few lines in there, one. 2, 4 feet, there's 4 foot of differential until you get, like I said. You need a 1 and 20, then you can look at it and really see what it
Yeah,
is.
well, the folks, this is, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely, you'll be getting a full size.
It goes up a little bit from South Main Street,
Yeah, just.
and then it goes down.
Eases back.
Yeah.
So you get back behind where the shed was, and then it starts to.
There was another shed back there, it came down a hurricane, built it,
Well, there used to be one parallel too,
Yeah.
remember, parallel with the trailer park.
right, but the music barn, that was there.
And then-
And then there was another shed
Yeah.
behind that went down.
Oh,
a
was there one
hurricane,
down in there too?
maybe
Oh, that's-
about 1950,
Yeah, I was gonna say before me,
about 1950.
yeah, that went down.
Okay. You didn't say anything?
Can't say anything wrong
Good
with
with
that.
that.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to receive that application.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2 is IWWA 6-2025 for 25 Cemetery Road, clearing of trees in preparation for future construction located over escarpment soils in parcel upland review area. Owner applicant is Timothy Richard, map lot 553219-19.
And Mr. and Mrs. Richard
Hello.
here, just to be clear, well, this is
Yeah, I
only.
didn't even recognize him, I didn't work in their other house.
And it's stands
Look
out
at
very
you got. You got younger looking.
Thank you.
This is just for the tree removal, but it is escarpment soil and it is in preparation for future construction of a new home and a barn or shed,
Yes.
which will come back. I guess our, one of our questions was, we brought it to you tonight because of the escarpment soil, rather than do an agent decision, thought it was a good idea. But do you, I guess another part 2 of whether you accept, when you accept this or not, is, whether you would like for it to come back for the construction as well, or you would grant that to be an agent decision, that's up to you. I thought we'd ask.
I don't know.
I think that one's gonna need a permit with its,
Yeah.
Okay.
how close it is to the Scannick River.
Yeah,
Well, it's a ways off the river, Al.
but
It's all
it's all
downhill.
hill.
Oh, yeah, it's all downhill. It's all
So,
the same.
it's not like, generally the concern there is that we have a good erosion plan,
There is a plan.
right?
I
I think we-
John Burton had, don't
No.
That was a different part.
Yeah, there was a front part where there was some trees that had out and.
Yeah, we're suffering from the.
That was actually,
Okay, there's Bancroft's. Oh, yeah, that's the one next door to it.
that was approved lot.
Yeah, it is.
Not,
And
not
the
for
cemetery was gonna
No,
go through with
it's
the road.
not now, it's not an approved lot.
It is
No.
an approved lot, yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it expired.
Oh, it did.
West of you.
It
was
doesn't
approved
expire.
lot, or is that included
Taxes
the
on it.
approved lot?
Well, that's included with the.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a 10-acre parcel, so
Okay,
we're basically just moving the location of the home. Just up on the hill a bit, and it's gonna be in the A2 zone, just right over the A2 zone line. So it would
So the house is
be, it would need the special use permit.
Yeah, I think we'll need a wetlands permit on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, probably wouldn't be.
okay, wetlands permit.
Yeah, your septic's still staying in the
So
same
for the
place, right?
construction, we'll come back with your full
Yeah.
plans for the.
Okay, just put for construction. This is that mean.
It's gonna be amazing. It's a nice spot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's
now
gonna be
after
good.
it's clear, it can be 10-week.
But it was weird trying to find
permit
enough
and
soil
start
for this.
construction.
For passing from North Central.
I believe that's how it
Oh, from the
is.
sewer.
Yeah, you know, that's why the septic is over where it is.
Well, if the septic's gonna change, there is a test bed where the new septic
Oh, yeah.
proposals, do you have it on that small little print, or is it the?
Oh, you can't actually read it.
Oh, yes, so I know this, so the approved, this was the approved site
Yeah.
from North Central Health, and that was actually a pump, the force main system.
Correct.
By putting the house up on the hill, it's actually gonna be a gravity fed system,
Oh,
and there is a test bit that was done in that site that passed and perked well, but I know you need a minimum of three test bits.
Better over there. I did
So-
them, I did them.
Oh, So, but that's
Yeah,
our hope, but
okay. Oh, so this is
speaking with
out.
Ruth, so it's so many briars and things out there. He said, hey, we really gotta, try to get some of the scrub down and clean out the area.
Get a bush hog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you
okay.
see that on the map there, Mr.
Well,
Osborne, where the site is?
You always got.
Yeah, over here.
reserve.
Yes,
Yeah.
up top
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
That's over on the knoll where the cemetery is.
and you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that this is the A2 line right here.
Yeah.
So the house is very close to line, and, the total slope is probably about, 200 feet down, just the total slope, and that's the floodplain.
Yeah, the
Down
river's
that
over
way,
here.
down there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how much area is being cleared?
Probably, gauging by this, it'd be somewhere around, 2 to 3 acres. There's
Okay.
already, it's probably an acre and a half somewhat cleared. It's just going to be,
That was,
uh,
been there forever.
yeah,
That was probably McCombs, wasn't it? Originally
Well,
across the street.
Thomas Watson,
Once, yeah,
and he sold it to
it
Star.
was
He
farmland.
sold it to Star.
Yeah,
It's a major
Susan, yeah.
Star,
Well,
but-
she owned it when I did the test holes.
And that was a cow pasture.
Yeah.
well, I figured it, I saw, walking the land, the stones piled up for the split rail fencing, up through the woods and stuff, it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
pretty nice to see.
It's probably barbed wire up, and also that the cemetery association bought that from Star.
Okay,
Watson had sold it to Star, they were gonna build houses in. And it went up around back of the cemetery also,
yeah,
and then, cemetery association bought it, and then John Vernon bought that part of it. We own part of it around the cemetery.
yeah. I know
got that.
there is the easement area that's been to the town, and that's all been outlined with the pins, so everything's been all flagged and marked
Yeah.
too, so if someone's to walk out there, you can see them. I've gone through and delineated them very well now, so,
Part of it's the town, and
Yeah.
part of it's the East Windsor Cemetery Association owns it. The town does not
Oh,
own all the land around
the easement.
the cemetery.
It's not- oh,
No, it's a-
The Cemetery Association is not the town.
Okay,
It's a separate,
Yeah,
separate,
it runs the cemeteries. And we bought that, the Cemetery Association bought that land, because the town couldn't come up with 25,000.
oh,
That
okay,
was bought for 25,000.
Well, we had a couple rough years,
And, yeah, and the town wouldn't buy it.
yeah,
So the cemetery association bought it for future expansion of the cemetery. So,
Now you got the history.
No, that's very
I
nice.
know.
Very nice.
So in terms of the clearing for the application that we're receiving tonight, are there any concerns, comments, questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to receive the application.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then for the building itself, a wetlands application for the building too.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready for that one.
So then when I don't know what the process is, after I clear, then I come back and speak with you, Danielle, and
Well-
say, hey, we have our plans, and this is what we want to do, and then you just come back to this.
Even if
You're gonna
don't
be
clear it,
so
You got your
sides.
plans, you can,
If you're gonna be stumping though and digging in the ground, you'll need to have the wetlands permit in place for that lot clearing. Because that's the whole idea, right? You can't get into the ground on that slope without erosion control up. Right,
Okay,
so that's-
so,
So it's best to just get the permit like right off the bat, then you're covered for the whole thing. And you'll just, wherever that erosion control line is delineated, you'll need to put that out there so you can do, then you can go in there and tear out all the stumps, do all your,
okay, so I'm a little confused.
So
What do I?
what we could do, they'll be making the motion to accept it as received.
Mhm.
So the next meeting means they'll make their decision after looking at these plans. You could submit, if you're ready with your building plans, location, I mean,
Oh, the
like,
location, the
if-
site plans, okay.
the site plan, you
Yeah.
could submit that to be received next, next meeting.
Yeah,
And then while this one was being decided on at the next meeting, they will be receiving your building plans. And then the June meeting would be when they made a decision on does that make sense?
On the
It's
building.
kind of just, it's overlapping by one meeting.
I know,
Yeah.
so.
So they
do I
receive
have-
one meeting, then they approve one
Right.
meeting. Receive one meeting, approve one meeting.
if that was.
Am I
gonna
allowed
hold
to
you
go
up
out
too
there
bad.
and forest mow the scrub? No, or I have to wait for all of this?
For the clearing of the land, the
Yeah.
clearing, yes, so the next meeting, they'll.
You
make
can
that-
cut the trees, but you can't pull the stumps. You can't do the.
So as long as I don't pull any
grubbing.
stumps,
Yeah,
but I can use a forest mower and mow.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Absolutely.
you can mow
As long
and
as I don't cut
clear,
any
as
stumps.
long as you're not digging in the ground,
Stumps.
you're good to go.
Oh, okay,
That's,
Okay.
that soil
That's what it
is
is.
very erosive.
yes,
I mean,
It's just
2
there's-
drops of water and down the hill it goes.
okay.
So there's a lot of like briars and prickers and like you can't even pretty much walk. You're like, okay, I have to go this
Yeah.
way. And so that's really what we're trying to do, not
Yeah.
necessarily actually dig
Yeah.
anything at this point.
I
Okay,
can't see a big problem with that, can you?
No,
No,
no, I mean,
no,
that's,
that's-
as long as
totally
you're,
fine.
Go
as
ahead.
long as they're, and like, all that stuff is hitting the ground, right? So that's like causing some more slowness for the water, like
Oh,
slowing
right.
down. So
yeah, yeah, all the
All the
chop.
chop,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Truly disturbing the soils it
Yeah.
is.
that's once you
Start
start
getting
pulling the
a little
stumps, now we got, you're
Okay, so
basically
then-
excavating.
Then, you'll be expecting then the general building plan, which would be the, house
The site
location,
plan.
the septic system,
You can throw your barn or shed or.
all
I
that
mean,
in there.
rather than
And
come
then,
back again.
yes,
Get
that way
it
we'll be
all
able to
in
get
there
our
and do it
test
once.
bits done. Yes. Okay, I see.
We don't wanna be the one to hold you up.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that way we can get it going.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there.
Well, I understand.
I just wanted to be clear, I don't want you getting in trouble either.
Yeah.
Well, once I start mowing the brush, I am allowed to install some set fencing perhaps. If I'm not taking any trees out, can I just do that on my
On
own?
the silt fencing, I mean, if you know where the silt fence is gonna go, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter when you put that in, as long as it's up when construction starts.
Yeah, okay, well, just as I'm out there with the machine, if I
Yeah.
can start to put some set fence in, there's gonna be hundreds of feet of set fencing, so. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna,
You
you
might
know,
wanna
No, that makes
consult,
sense. That's-
your
yeah.
engineer ought to be able to give you a rough location where it's gonna be.
yeah, we've
Don't
gone
waste
over
money.
the plan, well, I wanna protect the site too, so
Appreciate
I
it.
don't want any troubles.
Remember how to put it in. We had that little.
No, I,
The state's
just
going on the
retired from the,
downhill side, not the uphill side.
yeah. I worked in construction engineering for 37 years, I just
So you know what you're
retired.
doing.
I just brought that up because we
Yeah.
just had that happen. Fortunately, it was a dead flat lot, so
Oh,
it didn't make
okay.
much difference.
No, you tow it in, I understand. all
Well,
that.
towing it in, but the stakes are on the front side. What happens?
Yeah.
The staples tears the fabric and
Right,
down it goes.
yes,
I
Thanks.
think, well, you know that.
yes.
That's fine.
All right,
Just don't like to see problems.
thank you guys for coming in.
Well, thank you.
very
Is
much.
there anything else we need to do, or is just a yes and that's it?
In the office or give me a call, we can go over the next step. So you understand more and we'll get it going.
Okay, and that's when I have my general plan.
Your location,
Yes.
you don't necessarily need your actual materials construction for them, you may need it for the. Well, you'll definitely need it for the building department, but
Yeah.
for your special use for the A2, but otherwise. It's like.
So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice seeing you again.
Yeah, you too.
Is it still holding up?
Oh, it's awesome.
Well,
You know, there's not a
Your
tile
work
that's
does
cracked.
well.
You did a fantastic job.
It's still under warranty. You know,
We can call him back to help for your
how's your
repair.
sister doing?
Get them out of the house.
Well, which one? I have 5 of them.
I just can't think of her first name. Where your father, mother moved in?
Oh, that's my sister Hope. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
He-
do
I
very,
think-
very well.
I think he.
You might,
did
yeah,
all-
oh, yeah, you did all the tile in that house too.
This is East Windsor.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I
He
built
did
that
everything.
house for them.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
You know, if you look, when you look straight across over there next to the barn, you're looking right into our backyard.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
okay.
We're on low.
Nice.
That's why I know it washes, because mine's the same way.
Maybe we can just look to see where we were in minutes. Is it
Maybe
for
we
us
can
to
get
stop?
it over.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you too. Have a good evening.
All right, new application we received number 3 is IWWA 7-2025, 172 North Road, owner applicant David Leeson for the construction of a commercial building in regulated upland review area, map block lot 125, 24, 22, I think is what that says.
That is these, you'll have these for determination of the next meeting. So these are the plans that I bought. So that way you can look them over and make a determination, whether or not at the next meeting, if you think it's significant or not. And because it's being received in about 30 days, we found today that counts as the 14-day period. So if you deem it to not be significant at the next meeting, it can be approved, or not approved, whatever, what the decision that you make. Or if you decide, no, we want to have a public hearing, then it would be scheduled for the June.
I get what you're saying,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
sorry, I was not following that to start with, but I think I am now.
Well, we usually do that, because after 14 days, we could hold a hearing if we have, or a special meeting. if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had to,
Mhm.
because you hate to hold people up,
Mhm.
especially getting into the ground.
Yeah, and that can be determined at the May.
I don't,
So this is the old, well, camper, Ray Frank's place, right? According to the picture, if I got the right one,
I don't think so.
North Road?
This is where they just cleared the land.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right,
Okay.
that's old camp, that was
that right?
camper land originally,
oh, is that right?
Ray Frank,
Great, great, yeah.
yeah, that was a pole building put in the ground, about that far above
Yeah.
little moist,
With the high school.
yeah, figured you did. I put it in,
Well, it was a couple of years older than me.
he did that file, so I did the work, not you.
yeah, it's a wet area, but it's not, it's flat as can be,
Yeah, it is.
which is, I mean, I don't see this to be any significant enough for a public hearing personally.
There's gonna be another automobile dealership there.
I don't really know.
Well, it says Brothers Auto.
Oh, that's my agent decision, I'll tell you.
Oh,
in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do here, but I don't think it's autos. They don't have nearly enough parking.
Well,
In fact, it's all,
seem to have
all they got is a driveway around it, really.
Oh, 172, okay, that's near that, commercial building.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
And where's all this water
into
Going.
go to the
Doesn't go
utility fund, it's
far.
going into the holding tank.
And it sits there and goes into the ground.
Oh, okay, so this
We got a
is
gallery
like
system.
Newberry Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Worse than that,
Doesn't go anywhere.
it doesn't go anywhere. And the town, and the state never cleans the ditches along the road, so.
No,
Why would they do
it's
that?
really, where could it flow? Over behind Bass Sales and across North Road and
Well,
trickle on out through?
When-
Well, then
There's
we-
a 30-inch pipe going under the road there.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably got 5 inches of.
But it doesn't, they don't,
it
the
says it's
state
full of
doesn't clean
sediment.
them out.
and Len Norton will have, comments at the next meeting.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
talked to him this morning, he didn't have time to.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I agree, this is significant in terms of wetlands.
Public hearings, no,
Yeah, no public hearing in our opinion.
but definitely permit.
Yeah.
It's wet, but.
Yeah.
It's not
so,
significant, all of it from what you read.
Right, I should have put that there.
Must have a.
Well,
Okay.
Quality basin or something in here.
It gets out stains.
What are they doing for the surface water? Again, they get these small plans.
They're collecting everything.
Yeah. All going into their holding tank, chamber.
Oh, yeah, they need to.
so you'll have the month to
Yeah.
peruse,
Yeah.
ask questions. Get Len's
Okay.
input. There is the report from Richard Zulik.
There's not a parking.
So that should go through.
No, it's bad things to go.
Yeah. Zone's report doesn't look like there's anything. They're gonna do any
Right,
significant damage.
And we don't know what this is gonna be. They haven't said what.
It's an extension of the building next door. I think they,
So it's basically office
It's a-
space.
no, I don't know if I honestly don't know what they're moving over into that building. I know there's something with turbine that they do there.
I have no idea what
Yeah,
that
that's
is
all
there.
gonna be is,
It'll be
Part of-
interesting, maybe, I might have to.
it's not the type of building where there'll be people coming in and out, like.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
commercial,
but
like.
there may
There's
be-
not a lot of parking.
The
retail,
maybe has
you know.
its materials, and if he's doing machinist work, we need to be careful.
That
And
would
then
all
the
be-
sewer will have to jump in on that too, if there's a machining materials or anything, have to have an oil separator. But
And
that-
so
that isn't
they'll
our-
be here at the next meeting to answer questions,
Okay.
but this is all just for.
Be received.
I think then we may have to make a determination if we do need a hearing, but
Yeah, I still think we won't need one.
I don't need, I mean, it's, what's there is there.
Yeah,
It isn't going anywhere.
okay. And
Inches everywhere, it's not going anywhere there.
entertain a motion to receive that application.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Right?
All right, we have no public hearings, no continued public hearings, no new business, no old business, nothing under miscellaneous, so agent reviews and decisions.
Only one, it's pretty simple, it is in the upland review area, it's Brothers Auto on 140 North Road, he's installing a concrete slab. In the upland review area to put a storage building, however, it's already completely disturbed, it's mix of gravel and millings, and there's already cars parked there, so it's a matter of him. Like paving a portion of it and putting like a. Just one of those metal prefab. So that's why I did it as even. Since he wasn't actually gonna be. Serving or adding anything more impervious that was already there.
I mean, a 20 by 40 metal storage shed is not like a shed in my mind, but
No, that's kind of a big one.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, there's already, there's all cars, it's next, if you're looking at it, you'll see there's next to the building, there's a bunch of cars parked, that have been parked there. And I think they're gonna put some of the cars in.
Which
It's not
place
gonna
is,
be-
which place is
Well,
this?
Doesn't seem big
I can't think
until,
of
it
his
seems
name.
big until you try to put all your
His-
stuff
his
in.
brother
Like,
was,
man, I should have
uh,
made this 10 feet
ambulance.
big.
like our.
Clinch.
Clinch,
Yeah,
next to Clinch.
Tommy
With
Clinch.
that,
Oh, where Enfield really was.
where the
No,
Bastille,
no, no.
there's the farm town diner. that's that
Yeah,
one
yeah, it's over
property.
next to the
Used
bus.
to be the
company.
tractor guy there.
Mhm.
What was that? Oh,
Bus
tractor.
company across from Joe's Package Store.
where,
No, the other side of the
where they used to sell the tractors. That was
Yeah.
part of Bass's
Yeah,
property.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, So there was already an auto, it was,
So Brook, yeah, what was the name? L and M Motors.
there was an auto place already there, he just.
Yeah,
he
that
took
was
it over.
the
Gotcha.
paint on that.
But there's a brook right there next to it. Kinda,
Yeah,
yeah, a little bit, yeah,
yeah, one
between
time
there and
grass
Bass's
started in
house.
there
yeah.
and,
Remember the driving range and they had all kinds of
Yeah.
hullabaloo over that because he had a little bridge going over.
no,
it.
no, this is,
No,
no, this is way down by where Wells Road comes out. Right?
It's. I don't know, the best
No,
thing
that's-
is,
that's
there's the
Leeson's
gas
place.
station, there's a Valero,
Huh?
or no, it's Farmtown Gas.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
Farmtown gas, the Farmtown
you have the
gas.
bus company right here.
Fastdale Plaza, it's before you
Okay,
hit the
140
Fastdale.
north.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
the building that used to be right here. I'm assuming that's where it's going, or the building that used to be there.
No, not the bus side,
That's
the
fast.
beginning of the property, so go back. It's on that.
This side?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Already
this
an
side.
auto place
Yeah,
there.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
where you
yeah,
put your fingers right in the center of the brook.
Got it.
Yeah, he's been operating, under his name, his company for over a year.
Well, the place has
He
been
just took
there
it
for
over.
30, 40,
Yeah.
35 years.
Like,
40
Longer than
years.
that, yeah.
Yeah, at least that. Remember the Citroen used to be out there underneath the roof from Maurice Baldwin?
Yeah, I forget the guy's name, but
Remember the
I
car?
used to try to buy a tractor off him. Every one of them, he had the cigar and he's like, that one there,
Oh,
there,
that's-
that cost you
that's
10
the
grand.
basket.
Didn't matter what the tractor was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now you know. Same with me, it took a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's low, but like you said, it's been filled and disturbed.
Oh, yeah.
Probably prior right of fill before the
Probably, yeah,
wetlands
when that
laws were ever
big
established.
ball
So which side is he putting this building on here? Oh, it's
So
on
if
the,
you're facing the building, it's gonna be on the right side.
Yeah.
So it's directly in the upland review, but. it's
Oh,
far-
sure, I sure is.
Yeah. It's far.
Well, she approved it, so.
There's a, what's it going up here? So this is.
and it's roughly the same size as the shack he's got.
Yeah.
Almost the same.
Oh, yeah, this
I
is-
see.
See, that's Fastdale Plaza. right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
got, this is all one, there's so many
Yep.
different businesses, but.
Yep.
This is. Okay. Yeah.
And it's just that one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's
he's
all
already-
on
there's
the
already,
upland review.
yeah, it's mills, if there's millings and gravel and cars parked all.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That tractor.
And it was tractors and trucks and everything else before that.
And oil.
No, yeah. And one, they're a bunch of characters there, guys.
Did you have anything else for agent decisions?
Mm-mm.
I had one question. Did you follow up with what was happening on
Sure.
Church?
Yes,
Is
it
that-
did. He's not, he came in,
Oh,
they hadn't got to the escarpment, it's right, they're directly in the front.
So what
and
are they
then
doing?
He was concerned, he told the owner, cause they wanna keep going, and he said, hold on.
good.
If we're gonna go, we need a permit, and then the owner said, wait. So, he said he's not doing anything. But
So are they
Yeah.
just
they're
clearing?
they're
it, or
just,
something?
well, they cleared the front area and they
Yeah.
put a drive down, and that's what he,
Trap rock in there, down,
what is it?
trap rock, I mean, they put
Yeah,
stone down,
tracking
Oh,
pad,
okay.
that's a
Tracking
tracking
pad.
pad.
But.
and it goes, a
it's-
gate.
It's halted, so, until they decide.
Who's the owner
what's
of
gonna
that
happen.
property? That's
Uh,
not hot.
no, it's not Hoffman, it's right next to Peg, it's, oh my god, I can't remember the name. It's right next to Peg's property,
Yeah, gotta be.
but
Should
if the
be.
escarpment soil, so
I
it
know.
says in the regulations, if you're 150 feet from escarpment soil. And he's actually more than 150 feet where they've done it from the escarpment to begin with, so he's out of it, but if they go further, he's under,
Isn't it
completely aware.
Germinaldi,
Costello?
Germinaldi, Robert Germinaldi and Jennifer.
What is
Kraft.
it? Oh, yeah, yes,
That's
yes,
the
That's-
present
yes.
owner's problem.
that's who I
Yeah.
sent the letter to, yeah.
Okay,
Crab,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jennifer Crab.
okay, so everything's been halted. They're not doing anything more
Yeah.
until they make a decision.
Did you notice the, up there on Grant's property in Melrose where they're cutting the trees and all that, they're blowing. Looks like they may be blowing the chips into some wetlands areas.
I did notice they were cutting trees down
There was
On
one,
Melrose.
the last spot where the machine is parked
on
right now.
Melrose.
You look,
off of
it's
140.
awful damn close to a water course.
All right, I
Cause
can,
we, you know, I mean, you can put
Up
a,
there where the grants,
where Phil Grant lives.
oh,
The
Phil,
opposite side of the, over towards the Hamback property.
okay,
Them fields, I think Grant sold them to, it's Jarmock, so I don't think you'll have any trouble,
Oh.
just.
Jarmark is next to the Neils,
John Rock is
Or are you
everywhere.
talking
No,
about
he's
Jarmark
everywhere.
on the other side of Melrose, cause that is Enfield, I've
Wait,
been over
wait,
there.
No,
No, this is definitely East.
No, you're on the
Okay.
corner.
Cause on the,
You're on-
on,
You're
actually,
on the corner of 140 and it turns, then you got Melrose Road. It's right here along Melrose Road.
on the Melrose Road, I think it's 55 or 155, that's next to the Neils.
Yeah, this is,
That one,
that's,
yeah.
no,
That
that's
one's
not what we're
he's got
talking
a
about.
permit
that-
on. This is the corner.
Yeah, we're
Um,
talking about these two.
And it's
lots
the
Yeah.
right
field,
here.
and it's the farm field before you get there, on the left if you're
Before
leaving.
Yeah.
here.
And
before-
Grant owns the cornerfield.
Who, Grant, no, I
Bill
understand,
Grant?
I heard
Town
he,
Line
I heard
Farm.
he sold it,
Oh.
that part of it, not the
Town
whole
Line
farm.
Farms, so I think that might be Jarmock.
That's.
Jarmark is
Okay.
town.
It's just remind them that
It's
chips ain't
before
supposed to
Jarmark,
go in the
so-
wetlands. I don't know if they made it, but it's close.
I know where you're.
So wait, but what I'm asking, is this
It was
Jarmark
close.
that we're talking about, his property that this is happening?
Yeah, that's the Town
Yeah.
Line Farm,
It's-
farm, something.
it's,
It's a touchscreen, so it has.
This
no-
field right here, this field, they've already done, it's this field here, they're blowing it right in there. It's awful goddamn close.
You didn't put 3 new barns up over there?
No, that's
That's across
another
the street.
property.
That's
That's
across.
across
the
Yeah, that's
street.
across
Across
the
the
street.
street is Jarmark.
Yeah, that's Jarmont.
Right.
But I
They
think
were
this
in
one is
what?
too, though.
Owen was in what, 2 years or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen asked us.
Yeah,
so they must have recently purchased.
I think it is
Yeah,
recent,
it's a
because that
recent
was
purchase.
Hendak did
So
own
I'll
that.
check that.
Grant
Okay.
bought it,
Yeah, Grant bought it.
and then
Across
he
from
split
Jar-
the soul.
Yeah.
Across from the Jarmark right now.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
gotta
miss
be-
it, there's an excavator sitting right there in the corner, in the field.
I'm
orange
surprised nobody's
excavator.
called because I have been over many times, so.
You
I
know,
will-
just, they were getting close, I don't know if they
I'll go
did it
check.
or not, but take a quick peek, you can see it from the road.
Cause
Yeah.
Grant would have come in,
Oh, he would have come in, definitely,
but
just
I will check it.
remind them.
everybody's got an excavator today.
You
In
went,
their
kid.
backyard.
They're so much fun.
What, you got one now?
No, I just rent them when I need them.
Oh, I got one,
Okay.
just,
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I don't think it's anything too serious yet, but we need to. demo it later.
All right, nothing for violations, nothing for conferences.
Well, I went,
So-
not that. I went to the conservation conference in over at Wetlands. It was really cool. I actually, sat in on a couple of seminars about invasive species and controlling them and.
I wanted to see that one, yeah.
Yeah, this one guy had all the stuff you could do, like eat it and make antiseptic hand sanitizer out of Japanese, was it Barbary?
Not
Barbary.
That was
That's the knotweed.
Oh, yeah. What can you do to eradicate that junk?
That, and there was
That
one,
stuff's off.
the
I was being multiple rows.
Connecticut farm.
Yeah,
I don't think I brought that one. For the Conservation Commission, I saw another one where they purchased land for, not low income, but first time house buyers, so they buy the development rights. The person would be able to purchase the building at a portion of the cost or lease to own, but they own the land and it was something they're starting.
We're going into that business again?
Well, no, this was at the convention. I don't know if I mean,
Oh,
keep doing it.
listen to this, we had that with the military housing there,
oh, that's,
off of Phelps, you know,
Yeah.
where the town, the federal
Yep.
government owned the land and the people. oh.
yeah, it was a disaster.
Ooh.
Finally
No,
got
that's
that
a different
straightened
thing.
out.
They finally got it, I don't think it's completely straightened
No,
out
but
yet.
they bought.
I think
the-
majority of the.
Talking about South Road?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
South
there's
Road.
a couple holdouts, but
Yeah, there's a
everything
couple.
else is taken care of.
Yeah, and that's been a struggle for what, 10, 12 years?
Feel like 20
It
years.
was, we started that when we were in 2011,
Something like that.
and then it went by the wayside, and then we picked it back up again in 2018, and it's almost done now.
Well, we were trying to figure out a way, because the way the government had deeded the property, it could only go to a nonprofit, and I don't know. And they
Pullman
formed a
Company figured it out.
nonprofit, and then they become defunct, and here they are, and everything's in limbo.
Well, these are some of the stuff I-
That wasn't housing for the Nike site, that people thought it was. That was housing for the Navy
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
over in
that
Windsor,
was,
on the
Yeah, for
nuclear,
Knowles Atomic,
when they were, yeah,
yeah, well, it's okay, I hold a reactor out of there.
oh.
I did.
Is there any other conferences or seminars that are coming up?
No,
Okay. Nothing for correspondence, any general board discussion?
I have some.
Yeah.
It's about time somebody started looking for volunteers to fill this board. Any ideas?
I'm looking. Yeah, I got one. And the guy that remember Bernie Lavoy? When he
Yeah.
lived on Scannick? Lou lives there now.
Yes.
He mentioned him, Lou Ortiz.
Oh,
Somebody I know, he was a little bit interested, and
Yeah.
I'll have to. I
is
haven't
he
called.
from town or something?
He is, well, no, he's
No.
from Hartford,
Oh, yeah, but,
but he was a good guy. He used to be a parts man in Napa in South Windsor.
oh, it's husband?
And he was a boxer and a few other things.
Well,
Nice guy.
if he's interested,
Oh,
get somebody
wonderful.
that's interested in it
And we gotta figure out what we're missing, because regular members been missing for a long time.
Yeah, like what's in our,
So, yeah, I've been meaning to bring this up to you. So
Yeah.
if somebody misses 4 consecutive meetings, the chair can send them a letter saying, hey, what's your intentions?
we won't get a response back because we've already.
And if you don't get a response back within 30 days or something like that, then you can just send them a letter saying, we removed you from the board.
That's
think
a
it's
town
time to do
policy.
that.
I had asked about for Miss Pippin.
Yeah,
To take
Kathy
over.
be a
And I
regular
think,
member.
I don't know if that's to be a board
Am I on the
decision
board?
or.
I had no idea.
Well, you're.
No, she just puts in an application. She
I knew.
just submitted an application.
Application, she's already on the board.
Yeah, but that's just
Yeah,
how, because it's all gotta go through the
As a-
town clerk's
Yeah,
thing.
because she's,
Instead of being an alternate, she'll be a.
Regular.
The way it's always done, way it's always been done is the same day, you resign as an alternate and put in your application as a full member.
you want? You're always here.
I told you she'd be
You know
here.
this town.
My term ends in September.
No, we don't. And
Mike Heller.
you're reappointing yourself.
Oh, I feel by then.
Oh, you will.
We'll start bringing cake. What do you like?
We'll brag you. You know what, the historical insight is just worth
That's about all I got.
But plenty of.
I've learned a lot from this, so.
Oh, yeah.
If you do
Sometime
resign,
I might be boring you, but
I will greatly
No,
miss it.
It's not boring, because it gives you the whys and wherefores of why some of this stuff was done.
Yeah,
on that, the Junis farm, when they cleared that field in the back, that's on the other side.
Yeah, on the
You know,
Scannick Road side.
Shirley still owns it. And they cleared that, and of course, there was no regulations then, and they stumped it, and they put all the stumps up at the end of the field towards Scannick Road. You know, and there's still twice as much of that to Scannick Road. And my job was to go out with a tractor and a wagon, and after they cleared it and everything, every spring to pick up all the sticks from the surface, you know, the roots and everything,
Yeah.
and put it in the car. I was probably 13, 14, driving the big John Deere.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
big
it for
deal.
nothing. It was so much fun.
Almost, but I got paid.
Bad as me, I raked all the hay for bailiffs for about 4 years, as
Yeah.
a kid, you know?
Raking hay is fun.
kids these days.
Not when you got 20-acre fields
Well, get tired of it. Did plenty of that.
and you're running a 1940 something tractor, that'll only do like 10 miles an hour long tight.
But
Yes.
that's enough of
Yeah.
history, I guess.
We do need to look for folks if you're thinking of dropping, so.
But
Well, I don't know, I'm just seeing how I feel.
Yeah.
We should at
We
least get
also,
some,
we also
we're
have a
gonna
vacancy
need an
anyway.
alternate, because she's gonna
Right,
assumably take over
and we
Kurt's
already have an
position.
vacancy for
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, so we've gotta fill it, but anyway, so we should get
we got
people
an
on.
open vacancy.
And then when you're happy that they're properly trained, then you can consider like a 5-year plan.
5 years, 10 years, right?
Did anything get done with Mike Soccer?
I believe that there did make I think there is a plaque. He was supposed to, we were supposed to get him to come to a meeting, and I think, and he was supposed to be invited. I think the Board of or not the Board of Selectmen, but the Selectmen's office did that. I don't know, but I told them like, he's not gonna come. Like,
Just get down there and knock
So,
on the door.
they pretty much have to deliver it, I think, but a plaque was made, I think it's in the first selectman's office.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. He was here a long time.
Yeah, they figured it out, actually, it wasn't as long as I thought, it
No.
was, 80 something.
It was the early eighties.
Yeah, or like 80, 81.
I
something
came
like-
in eighty,
43 years or something?
Yeah,
I came in eighty.
Oh, long time.
Yeah, that's.
That's when, Pinkham was,
Oh, jeez.
chairman. You know, Pinkham on.
Handsome Howard.
Handsome Howard.
Oh, we know him. He lettered my truck.
And I took his place.
Okay,
Pinkham left.
Wow, that's a long time.
Where did he go?
so you've been on the board just about as long.
And Raber. Raber was chairman for a long time.
Yeah,
Bob Raber,
Bob,
Bob
yeah.
Raber, yeah. He was chairman for a long time.
and you had Tex and
And then after.
Nuddle and.
Nuddle. Tex was never chairman.
No, well, that's fortunate, no. I shouldn't say.
They all did what they were capable of doing.
that's all you can do.
There was issues.
Did we ever put anything on the town's social media, like these commissions are looking for people?
We do occasionally, yeah.
They do that
Is there more than time
regularly.
for us
And
to do
we
that?
always, I mean, for each of the commissions, if someone's enthusiastic who comes into the office, they'll say, hey, would you think about maybe? And they go, oh.
Ideally,
And they'll-
ideally,
they'll
you'd
come
like
in.
to have to start with and then move up. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's how I started, yeah.
Somebody come in flat cold and.
Okay,
It'd be nice to get somebody with a background.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but.
We had that
You're in a
one,
background.
Mhm.
we had that one woman that was a background, had some background, but she only lasted like 3
6
meetings.
Yeah.
Oh, from Depot Street or.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, she was here quite a while.
Oh, she was here a while.
No,
Year or so, yeah.
yeah, she was here for a year, she came to like 3
Year or
meetings.
so. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
couldn't get what she wanted done.
well, if
so
we
she
can put
left.
something out on social media, if you can make a note to do that, that'd be good.
Well, we technically, we don't have a official opening for a regular member yet.
No, but we have an alternate.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna.
can certainly put out for that, just to say who's, if anybody's interested. Yeah.
And that's kind of a good way to start.
Want
Yeah,
these back for-
Exactly.
Want these back for next,
Page,
Yep.
the commission webpage.
Okay.
I've been trying to
Back
get
for
more
next
people,
year.
but I can't get them pinned
Might as
down.
well, for next
For
meeting.
next meeting, you got it, that saves me some paper.
Yeah, you can take mine for next meeting too. All right, I would entertain a
I make a motion to
motion.
adjourn.
We didn't do board discussion?
That was board discussion. Did you
Oh,
have something?
yes, I did want to bring
Okay,
something up, yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, so, we talked a lot about public hearing, which we haven't had for a while. And I brought out this book here.
Regulation.
This is a really good conference if you can go to it, but anyway, just to review, like, you know, why we would have, you know, the conditions on why we'd have a public hearing. The reason why I did that is because I really feel like when that apartment thing comes through, we need to make sure that they know when they're, we should probably make sure, and I'm sure it's Jay that's gonna be doing that he knows that we're back at the receiving the application the month before. Cause I think that's one that has a high public interest and we're gonna wanna,
yeah,
you know.
you're gonna kind of have.
Oh,
Everybody down there wanted to know about,
The
you
blue
know,
ditch.
the blue ditch
Yeah.
and the flooding in their
Oh,
house and all that stuff.
Way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Most everybody in town wants to know.
and I expected to see the application already, but,
Yeah,
I know they're working out a couple of things, so I just think that in the public interest, and it would be, I think, you know, cause if we don't do the public hearing, then all that's gonna end up at planning and zoning, and of course, they're gonna be like, well, we don't do any of that.
Well, they're gonna end up there no matter what, public hearing on
Yeah, I
that
think
one.
he's saying wetlands.
But all the people are gonna bring their wetlands complaints to the planning and zoning
Well, they
commission.
always bring their planning and zoning complaints here. so what's-
Yeah.
I just think.
No,
we
you're
should,
right, Al.
you
No,
know,
that's definitely.
and so we should make sure they know that
Yeah.
they're,
We gotta go.
We need to review those requirements and our recommendations, so we know.
so
We're
there's two, it's really wide open. There's two reasons why. So like I was saying earlier, planning and zoning, it's in their book. If you do this, you need a public hearing. For us, we don't do it that way.
Determine it.
It's part of, it's in the law, and we have two reasons why we can have it. If we decide it's significant from a wetlands, you know, if they're actually in the wetlands doing something, you know, like, or two, if there's a lot of public interest, which in this case, that's where it is.
Public interest
And
would be-
then I was reading all the case law, and it's like, it's really wide open at our discretion, you know, what we think is public interest, but I do believe after listening to the zoning change amendment, that there's a ton of public interest
Oh, yeah.
in, like, most of the stuff they brought up, it was either traffic or flooding, one or the other, you know? So I think that we just, you know, and I think we should tell, Jay that we're gonna want a public hearing on this one, so just build that into their schedule, you know?
Build that in your
So we don't
time.
surprise them, you know?
You will, because really, they're not very little actual. Anything to do with it, even the review area is where they're working.
But it
But
runs
it's
down to
still-
the flood.
Yeah, all the water's going down and right, no,
Not
you know, from
according to
the
the-
standpoint
yeah,
of
that's
what's
true, that's
actually
true.
happening.
The water quality basin, one of them is gonna be down over that slope.
Well, that was for Lowe's, but they didn't have that
That was
in
not.
this
Yeah.
one. But I think there's gonna be changes from what we saw
Oh, I do too.
earlier.
Yeah.
So-
there's- They had a departmental site plan meeting with all the fire departments and everybody aired their, what they wanted to see changed
Mhm.
before the next set of plans. Are submitted and they got a lot of feedback, so they're working on those right now for traffic study, for access, for emergency services, for.
They need to.
But yeah, like, I mean, it was a long, it was like a 2-hour meeting, so they are working on a new set of plans based on all those comments. In hopes that when they go to the planning and zoning commission and they question, they say, oh, got that. Yep, we did that too, we did that.
And I think it's fair to them to like have an area where they can discuss directly with the public for the specific drainage things that everybody
Yeah.
was complaining down there. I think it's just fair to everybody to
Yeah.
make sure that.
The public has gotta be assured that they're not gonna add anything.
I got blamed because
that
Lowe's, our board got blamed because Lowe's didn't, we didn't work fast enough to get Lowe's in there. I had somebody say that.
Right,
I
yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
That's why I didn't want to blindside them with it and put them back a month, you know?
No.
Yeah,
So they
I
can
think
just
they
do-
anticipated
I
that,
think
but,
they anticipate
but I'll
too,
definitely talk to.
Yeah.
So we're leaning towards it real strongly,
Yeah.
because they're gonna put that little footbridge in there, they're going over the blue ditch, so absolutely gotta.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
a
think
chicken
there was any
thing, but
question.
What is it, how many,
it's just gonna be a little footbridge.
how many apartments?
350 and then
Plus the commercial
It's like
building.
For commercial.
like a restaurant with and like little shops.
That's what they're drawing, but you know, what actually happens after you
Yeah.
approve it is the next thing.
Well, you know, yeah.
It's so many square
I
feet
guess
of
we can
commercial
adjourn
space.
now.
Yeah, okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
It's almost.
All in favor,
Just to
Yep.
say, you
stop
know,
the recording.
whatever happened to up on